You have to understand something deep about life. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Your life is like a grand theater. Some people are meant to sit in the front row, cheering you on, clapping when you win, and standing by you when the curtain falls. But others, they belong in the balcony, maybe even outside the door. The problem is, too many of us hand out front row seats to people who haven't earned the ticket. We invite the wrong audience into our most private moments, and then we wonder why we feel misunderstood, judged, or betrayed. You can't share your dreams with people who have no dream of their own. They'll think you're crazy. You can't open up about your struggles to those who haven't learned compassion. They'll see it as weakness. And you can't expect everyone to clap for you when most haven't done the work to understand your performance. Some people only show up to your life to see if you'll fail, not to see you rise. They wear masks of support, but feed on your doubt. Be wise enough to know who's who. Don't let familiarity fool you. Just because someone has been around you for years doesn't mean they've earned a place in your confidence. Longevity doesn't equal loyalty. Some people stay close just to stay informed, not to stay involved. Guard your personal space like it's sacred ground, because it is. When you let the wrong people get too close, they start influencing your emotions, your mindset, and even your decisions. You must learn the art of selective sharing. It's not about being cold, it's about being careful. Some things need time to grow before they're exposed. Some visions need to be protected until they're strong enough to stand criticism. There's a reason great trees take root in silence, because early exposure can kill potential. The same goes for your plans, your healing, your goals. Don't let every ear hear your struggle. Don't let every eye see your process. When you start valuing your peace more than people's approval, your life begins to change. You start realizing you don't need to explain yourself to everyone. You don't need validation from people who wouldn't understand your journey, even if they walked beside you. Keep your circle small but solid. The right people don't need every detail to believe in you. They just trust that you'll make it happen. So take back the tickets, move some people to the balcony, and don't be afraid to let some leave the theater altogether. Not everyone is meant to be part of your show. Some were only there for an act, not the whole story. Guard your stage, protect your light, and perform your life for those who've earned the right to be close. Your energy is one of the most valuable currencies you possess, more valuable than money, more valuable than time. Because when your energy is gone, everything else loses its meaning. You can have time but no energy to use it, money but no spirit to enjoy it, opportunities but no strength to seize them. That's why you must treat your energy as something sacred, something to be invested, not wasted. Every conversation, every interaction, every thought you dwell on costs you something. The question is, are you spending your energy wisely, or are you giving it away carelessly to people and situations that don't deserve it? Too often, we give our energy to the wrong people, the ones who drain instead of refill, who complain instead of contribute, who take instead of give. You try to explain yourself to them, hoping they'll understand, but all they do is argue or gossip. You pour out your heart, and they hand you back confusion. You try to lift them, and they pull you down. You must realize not everyone is qualified to hold space for your energy. Some people can't handle your truth because it exposes their comfort. Some can't handle your light because it reveals their shadows. That's why you've got to stop letting everyone make withdrawals from your emotional bank. Protect your energy the way a wise investor protects their wealth. Ask yourself before every conversation or commitment, will this replenish me or drain me? Is this person adding peace or stealing it? Because if it costs your peace, it's too expensive. The wrong people will have you broke in spirit while you're still trying to be nice. You owe kindness to everyone, but access to no one. That's a powerful distinction. Learn to redirect your energy to where it multiplies. Pour it into your growth. Invest it in your goals. Give it to people who inspire you, challenge you, and bring the best out of you. Give it to your craft, your purpose, your peace. The more you invest in things that give you strength, the richer your life becomes. Because energy works like interest. What you give to the right place compounds, and what you give to the wrong one disappears. And remember this, not every battle is worth fighting. Not every comment is worth responding to. Not every situation deserves your attention. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay silent, walk away, or let people think whatever they want. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Every time you choose peace over drama, focus over distraction, growth over gossip, you win a quiet victory. So, from now on, treat your energy like gold. Don't spend it trying to convince people who don't want to understand you. Don't waste it trying to fix people who refuse to change. Don't give it away for temporary validation that leaves you empty afterward. Save it for your mission, your discipline, your becoming. Because when you learn to spend your energy wisely, you stop living exhausted and start living empowered. Silence is one of the most misunderstood strengths in life. People often mistake it for weakness, for passivity, for not knowing what to say. But true silence, intentional silence, is one of the greatest demonstrations of power and discipline. When you choose silence, you're not surrendering, you're mastering. You're showing that your emotions don't control you, you control them. You're showing that you don't need to prove your worth with words, because your results will do that for you. Silence isn't about being empty, it's about being full of understanding, patience, and control. There's wisdom in holding your tongue when everyone else is busy talking. Because words, once spoken, can't be taken back. They build or they break, they heal or they hurt. And when you're emotional, angry, or frustrated, the words you release may become tools of destruction, not expression. That's why powerful people pause before they speak. They think before they respond. They understand that silence gives them time to think clearly, to see the situation from all sides, and to act with strategy rather than reaction. In life, there are moments when silence protects you. It protects you from saying too much to the wrong person. It protects you from revealing your plans before they're ready. It protects you from arguing with someone committed to misunderstanding you. Some people don't deserve your explanation because they're not listening to understand. They're listening to respond. In those moments, silence speaks louder than any defense. When you stop trying to convince, you conserve your peace. You see, silence is also the space where clarity grows. In the noise of constant talking, constant sharing, constant explaining, you can't hear your own inner voice. But when you step back, when you become still, the truth rises to the surface. Your mind clears, your intuition sharpens. You begin to understand not just others, but yourself. That's why solitude isn't loneliness, it's leadership. The strongest minds are often the quietest in the room because they're busy observing, learning, and processing. Jim Rohn once said, "Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons." The discipline of silence is one of those ounces that saves you tons of regret. When you learn to hold back your words, you also hold your power. You're no longer easy to provoke. You're no longer predictable. You stop reacting to every noise and start responding only to what matters. Silence becomes your armor. It keeps you grounded, composed, and focused, while others lose themselves in chaos. Don't confuse silence with weakness. Weakness is when you let emotions dictate your actions. Power is when you choose not to be moved by them. Weakness is when you argue to prove a point. Power is when you let your results speak. Weakness is loud because it seeks validation. Power is quiet because it's secure. A lion doesn't need to roar to prove it's the king. Its presence is enough. So learn to practice the art of quiet strength. Let your silence carry authority. Let it show that you don't need to answer every insult, attend every conflict, or explain every decision. Keep your plans private, your process sacred, and your emotions under your command. Because the moment you master silence, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, no one else can control you. One of the biggest mistakes people make in life is allowing those who misunderstand them to influence, direct, or even define them. You see, when someone doesn't understand your vision, your calling, or your conviction, they'll try to manage you according to their limitations, not your potential. They'll tell you what you should do, not because they know your path, but because they're afraid of the one you're walking. And if you're not careful, you'll start shrinking yourself just to fit their version of you. The truth is, not everyone will understand why you work so hard, why you dream so big, or why you refuse to quit when it gets tough. Some people see your ambition and call it arrogance. They see your boundaries and call it selfishness. They see your focus and call it obsession. But that's not your problem. That's their perspective. And their misunderstanding doesn't make you wrong. It simply means you're speaking a language they haven't learned yet. The language of growth, purpose, and persistence. You can't let small thinkers manage big dreams. You can't let those who have never built anything tell you how to build. You can't let people who fear change give you advice on transformation. Because people can only lead you as far as they've gone themselves. If someone has never stretched beyond their comfort zone, they'll always try to pull you back into theirs. It's not always out of hate, sometimes it's out of fear. Your courage reminds them of the comfort they've chosen, and that reflection is hard to face. That's why you must learn to guard your decisions from the voices that don't align with your direction. Stop seeking validation from people who haven't walked your path. Stop explaining your purpose to those who lack the capacity to understand it. Some people will never get it, not because you're wrong, but because they've never experienced life on your level of conviction. When you start chasing your calling, your mindset shifts, your habits change, your priorities evolve, and that can make others uncomfortable. Let them be uncomfortable. Don't let their confusion become your cage. You owe it to yourself to listen to those who see your potential, not those who doubt it. Surround yourself with people who understand your silence, who respect your process, who don't need constant explanations to believe in you. These are the people who remind you who you are when you forget, who hold you accountable to your best self, not their version of it. And remember, being misunderstood is often the price of authenticity. Every great leader, thinker, and builder has walked through that season. People misunderstood them, criticized them, labeled them, but they kept going because they knew something most don't. You can't be extraordinary and understood at the same time. If everyone understands you, you're probably not doing anything remarkable. So when someone misjudges you, don't argue, just outgrow them. When they mock your discipline, let your results do the talking. When they doubt your vision, let your progress be your proof. Don't waste your energy trying to convince those who have already decided not to understand. Let them talk. You keep moving. The moment you stop letting the misunderstood manage you, you reclaim your power. You stop being led by opinions and start being guided by purpose. You stop explaining and start executing. You stop needing their approval and start building your destiny. Because the truth is, the people who truly understand you don't need to manage you. They trust you to lead yourself. And those are the only voices worth listening to in life. The quality of your circle determines the quality of your growth. The people you surround yourself with are not just part of your environment, they become your environment. Their attitudes, their energy, their habits, and their mindset slowly begin to shape yours. That's why keeping your circle tight and your standards high isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone. It's about protecting the atmosphere that allows you to become your best. You see, not everyone deserves access to you. Access should be earned, not given. Too many people open their lives to everyone and then wonder why they feel drained, distracted, and disappointed. You can't expect to stay strong when you're constantly surrounded by weak thinking. You can't keep your vision clear when you spend your days with people who only see limitations. Your circle should challenge you, not comfort your complacency. It should correct you when you drift, encourage you when you stumble, and celebrate you when you rise, not out of envy, but out of genuine belief in you. When your standards are high, you stop settling for half-hearted conversations, inconsistent relationships, and negative environments. You stop tolerating gossip, drama, and small talk that leads nowhere, because you realize that time is precious and energy is expensive, and neither should be spent in the company of people who don't inspire growth. It's better to walk alone with clarity than to walk with a crowd that leads you off your path. You can't grow in soil that doesn't nourish you, and you can't evolve in circles that only remind you of who you used to be. Some people will accuse you of being distant, changed, or cold when you start guarding your space. That's fine. Growth often looks like distance to those who have stopped moving. You're not being rude. You're being responsible. You're learning to protect your peace, your focus, and your future. There's a big difference between being friendly and being available. You can love people from afar and still choose not to let them into your inner circle. Everyone deserves kindness, but not everyone deserves access to your energy, your dreams, or your time. The truth is, when your circle is right, your life feels lighter. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to prove. You don't have to perform. The people around you understand your silence. They respect your grind. They celebrate your progress. They hold you accountable when you slip and lift you up when you fall. They don't compete with your light. They reflect it. Those are the kind of people who make the climb worth it. So keep your circle tight. Choose people who value consistency over convenience, depth over drama, purpose over popularity. Choose those who challenge your excuses and push you toward excellence. Don't let loneliness tempt you into lowering your standards. The wrong crowd will cost you more than solitude ever will. And keep your standards high for yourself first and then for those around you. Because your standards are not walls to keep people out. They are filters to keep your life pure. They separate the temporary from the timeless, the curious from the committed, the followers from the builders. Never apologize for expecting loyalty, honesty, or respect. Those aren't high standards. Those are basic requirements for meaningful connection. The stronger you become, the smaller your circle will get, not because you're better, but because you've become more focused. And when you get focused, you no longer chase crowds, you attract alignment. You stop searching for company, and you start walking with purpose. So choose wisely who walks beside you, because the right circle won't just change your mood. It will change your destiny. Don't waste your masterpiece explaining it to those who can't see art. Don't open your soul to those who have only come to take notes. Talk less, do more. Share less, build more. Because when you stop oversharing with the wrong people, you start aligning with the right future.